beautiful people, I again welcome you to my channel. Today I'm going to discuss on the important documents that you'll be requiring for filing your Canada visa. So before starting the video, if you haven't subscribed me yet, then do click on the red button below. So if you haven't checked my previous video on the documents required to get an offer letter from Canadian University, then do check that video because I've mentioned the important documents there and you'll be requiring those documents along with the visa documents that I'll be sharing today. So without any further delay, let's start the video. So these are the 5 essential documents that you will be needing while filing your Canada visa. So let's open the first document, which is Canada checklist. This is a checklist which is provided by Immigration Canada. So this is particularly for the cities of, as mentioned here, for New Delhi, Chandigarh and Bangalore. In case you don't live in any of these cities, then you can simply go on to the website of Visa Office for Canada and you can simply download the checklist of your city. Now moving on is the pre-application medical examination university. So I hope you all know about the medical examination. You need to give your medical examination because the visa officer wanted to know your present health status. What is your present health status? And also you wanted to know the diseases or any symptoms which you are having currently. So this examination is really very important. Now moving on is application for a study permit. So you need these checklist which is given here. So just read on all the instructions. You must submit the following: university checklist, student permit questionnaire, original valid passport, 2 photographs, meeting the photograph specifications. So make sure you take the photographs according to the specification given here. Letter of acceptance. The following documents are strongly recommended: test result taken within last 24 months. Here it is talking about your IELTS, which is English proficiency test. So you must have IELTS before 24 months. Photocopy of most recent diploma or leaving certificate, whatever is your highest diploma or degree. Copy of medical examination which you have to give. In case you don't know how to book a medical examination for yourself, then you can simply go to the number which is given on the description box. Just book your appointment there and they will tell you the date and the timing when you will be having your medical exam. Preferred option of funds, of proof of funds, which is GIC. So you need to have a GIC certificate. I hope you know how to register for and how to get your GIC certificate. In case you don't know, then watch my previous video. Additional requirement for minor children: if you are a minor, then you need to follow these instructions. Pre-application medical examination, which I told you. So you need to carry these documents to the medical examination where it going to be conducted for you. And last is applicant name. So you have to write your name and your signature. I already told you about GIC certificate. Let's move on to another document. Now second one is consent form PDF. So this is a consent form which is provided by VFS Global Services. Just go through all these documents. Basically they have written their terms and conditions here. So you have to write your name, your address, your signature, date, your city and country, again name, signature and date. Let's move on to another document, which is family information PDF. So this is a family information, so you have to write full details of your family, type of application, whether you are a visitor, worker or student, and or others. Just tick on the, if you are a student, then tick on the blank. Now moving on to section A. So here you can see, here it is written applicant, so you have to write your full name. For example, my name is Prachi Tanwar, so I will write my name here. My date of birth, whatever is your date of birth, just write it on here. Your status, whether you are single or married. Your occupation. Now moving on is your partner's name. If you have a partner, then write down his name or her name. Date of birth, occupation, and will there be accompanying with you to Canada? Tick on yes or no. Then your mother's name, your father's name, their date of birth, their present address, and will there be accompanying with you to Canada? Just tick on the option. Sign. So I certify that I do not have a spouse or a common law partner. If you certify this, then you have to sign here. Date. So many of the students make mistake while writing here year, month and date. You have to write the year, month and date on which you will be filing your visa. So just make sure you write down the date you'll be filing your visa. Now moving on to section B is children. If you have any children or a child, then you have to mention his detail. Again, the same procedure you have to follow. Section C is about your brothers and sister. So mention their details, and if you don't have any brother or sister, then you don't need to mention their details. Again, your signature and the date, year and month on which you'll be filing your visa. Now the next document is student questionnaire form. This student permit questionnaire. Please complete this questionnaire using the space provided. So if you have an agent and he's doing your work on his behalf, so you have to write his details. Provide the detail of your education, work experience. So you have to mention your highest qualification in ascending or in descending order. Like for example, you have done schooling from so and so school, so mention the name of the school, from which date and year to which month and year, then type of certificate, whether it is CCE or CBSE board, so you have to write down all things. And then again, bachelor's or whatever experience which you have, just write down. Number 3 is about complete the following chart with regard to your parents. So you have to enter all the details about your parents. Your father information. You have to write his name, street and mailing address, telephone number, his email address, and position or title. Then his income for a year and primary source of income, whether it is salary, business, or property or rent. So you have to write down all the details. Now similarly, you have to follow for your mother. And if you are having any other name relationship to applicant, then you can write down their names. If your course of study includes English as a second language ESL component, please explain how long it will take to complete English as a second language. So you have to mention the details of your ESL if you are opting for ESL. Now moving on to the last document, which is study permit application. Okay, so you have to write down the UCI number which you will get on your offer letter. I want service in, whether you want service in English or French, then you have to write down, you have to select that option. Personal details, you have to write down family's name, then your name, then your sex, whether you are female or male, then your date of birth, place of birth, country of residence, whether you are from India or from whatever country, so you have to select that option. Then your status, whether you are citizen of that country or not. Then moving on, your current marital status. So select whether you are married or single. Countries where applying, same as country of residence, if yes or if no. So click on that option. I already told you about marital status. Whatever is your status, just write down that. Now moving on to another page. So you have to mention your personal details here. Have you previously been married or in a common law relationship? If yes or if no, just click on that option. Now you have to select the language, whatever is your native language or mother tongue, you have to write down or select the option of your language. If your native language is not in English or French, which language do you use most frequently? So write down whatever is your language. My language is Hindi, so I will select that option. Are you able to communicate in English or French? Select yes or no. In English, so select the English option. There's no yes and no option here. Have you taken a test from a design testing agency to assess your proficiency in English? So you have to select the option here, if yes or if no. Then write down your passport number, country of issue date, your expiry date, which will be mentioned in your passport, contact information. Next, you have to write your current mailing address. Whatever is your address, just write down here. Street number, street name, then your city, country, postal code, district, residence address, whether your residence address and current mailing address is same or not. Just write down your country, select the country, state, postal code, district, telephone number, alternate telephone number, fax number if you have, email address, detail of intended study in Canada. So write down the name of the university, study level, whether it is college, certificate, diploma, pre-university. My field of study will be, select your field of study here. So select whatever is your field of study. Now moving on is learning institution, my student ID, whatever is your student ID, just write down that. Moving on, again you have to write your name, applicant name, details of intended study in Canada. So write down all the details here, your tuition, other fund available for my stay, my expenses in Canada will be paid by myself or parents, select that option. Now education, just read on all these details and fill all your education. Now you can see education option here. Select the year, month, level of study, whether it is schooling or bachelor's. Again, employment, if you have any, give details of employment for the past 10 years. So write down if you have any employment. Background information. So these are some questionnaires, so you have to select yes or no. So just read on all these documents, not basically documents, it's just questionnaire type of a thing. So just go through all these things. Lastly, you have to write your year, month, date and your signature. Now click on the validate option. Now we are done with the documents These are the 5 essential documents that you will be needing while filing your visa. I'll be attaching these documents on the description box. In case you need these documents and you are not able to get it from anywhere else, you can simply download these options and get your visa done.